Good afternoon, everyone. I'm State Representative Mike Weiner, and this is Open Mic. Over the weekend, there were protests across the state, in Minnesota, all over the nation, some of them in my own backyards. And I wanted to talk about that today, the No Kings and the Communist Goal. So, the No Kings protest and why they sound familiar. When you look back at something recorded in Congress in 1963, the list of the 45 communist goals to take over a country. This list came from the Naked Communist, and it was officially read into the congressional record. So it's not a rumor or conspiracy, it's our nation's own history. The list laid out a plan for how communist movement would slowly weaken a country from the inside, not by war, but by changing how people think, act, and trust their institutions. Some of the goals were things like take control of the school and teach socialist ideas, influence the news and entertainment to change how people see America, encourage protests and unrest, especially among the young people, undermine faith, family, and traditional values. Now, think about the message behind the No Kings protest. The phrase seems harmless. It means we don't want anyone ruling over us. And it's a good thing in a free country. But if you listen closely, some of the protests aren't just saying no kings, they're saying no leaders, no laws, no traditional systems. They're calling for tearing down everything: government, police, family, even religion. You saw on signs across the country communist stamps on some of the signs. Groups that funded this: Socialists of America, the Communist Party, and a few others. That's where it starts to sound like the 1940 or the 45 goals from 1963. The strategy was never about a quick revolution. It was about slowly breaking down trust in every part of society until people beg for something new to replace it. And when you see a movement that uses people to create constant anger and division, well, it's funded by groups that want to rewrite how our whole system works. And that's not random. That's following the old playbook almost step by step. Now, to be clear, not everyone who joins these protests is part of some grand plan. I understand that. Most people are just frustrated and want change. But it's important to realize that good people can be used by movements with hidden goals. So what do you do? First of all, stay alert. You can ask who's funding these protests and what they really want. We can teach our kids the truth about our history and what makes freedom work. And we need to protect our values: faith, family, free speech, and hard work that make our country strong. Because the problem isn't no kings. The danger is when we tear down our institutions without realizing that someone else is waiting to take their place, and that someone may not believe in freedom at all and would rather replace it with a system that is not what we have now. So think about this. Look at how our state, how our country is progressing. Write down those plans in that 1963 handbook to the communist plan. But remember, I do believe that when we educate people, when we talk, when we discuss these things, it shines light on what's really going on here. So look it up, and I'll see if I can find it and maybe attach it to this video so that you can see exactly what they wrote down in 1963 and realize how right on goal they are right now, how they have planned this out and how it's proceeding. But don't despair. Don't think that it's all over, that it's lost. Like I've always said, our best days are not behind us, they're in front of us. but it's up to us to make that happen. Thank you and God bless.